Being on social media for over a decade now, I've kind of tried it all in terms of the advice that people give to grow and be successful on social. Things like be consistent, post every day, be on this platform, don't be on this platform, do this thing, don't do that thing, all of the things that come along with trying to figure out the world of social media. And I can tell you that, this far into it, I really have cracked the code, and I have my most profitable and simplest content and social media strategy I have ever had. And I wanted to share the secrets behind it in today's video and really go deep on tactically what it looks like and how you can implement it for yourself and reverse engineer your success. So here's what we're gonna cover today. The fundamentals of a profitable social media strategy, the structure of my social media content that makes money, the simplicity of my content calendar, how much my social media content generates per week, and the number one key to your long-term success on social media and in your business. The mission behind this channel is to make entrepreneurship available to everyone so you can make your unique impact on the world that you are meant to make. So a small thing you can do to support that is just hit the like button, be sure to subscribe so that we can reach more people in the algorithm. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with the fundamentals. And this is gonna be a little bit of a recap and a review of what I've shared in other videos, but I wanted to make sure we started here so that everything else makes sense. So number one is the flywheel that really allows you to crack the code on social media. So it starts with your ideal viewer, really identifying who you want to reach. From there, you need to make sure you're making relevant content for that ideal viewer. From there, the algorithm then knows how to categorize you because the algorithm needs the information of who you're trying to reach and what you want to be known for. When it has that information, it can support you by leveraging its traffic sources. And every single social media platform has internal traffic sources to help you reach more people with your content without you having to do more work. So once the algorithm categorizes you, then it's going to use its internal traffic sources to reach even more of your ideal viewer, subscriber, follower, and clients. And because that really is the flywheel to crack the code on social media platforms, it's important to understand it's all about quality, not quantity. When you have a random audience, it actually can work against you. When you go mega viral, it can actually work against you because you're gonna bring in all these viewers and subscribers that aren't actually interested in the fundamental core of what you're talking about. So then it hurts the engagement and the viewership on the rest of your content moving forward. So a core loyal audience is much more beneficial than a big, huge audience. And to recap the formula that I created for the success on any social media platform and the content you create, it looks like this. It's intention plus relevancy plus you equals success. So having a clear intention behind the content you're creating allows the algorithm to know how to categorize you and reach more people like that. Understanding what kind of content is relevant to those people you want to reach allows you to increase your engagement on everything that you post. And from there, ensuring the content is unique to you allows you to stand out in a very crowded online world. And when you're growing a business and trying to create more profit through your social media strategy, you need to understand it's very simple. All you're really looking to create is traffic driven to your offer, product, or service, turning those people and those leads into clients. Those are the three factors to creating more profit through your content strategy. And if you are working on a social media strategy that doesn't lead to those three things, you're probably doing a lot more work with very little return and results, which is what we're gonna try and figure out and squash today. And a quick reminder of the three core kinds of content that really do help you grow your business and your brand on social media and increase your authority and credibility. So number one is your viral content, which is at the top of the pyramid and ultimately brings in a wider audience, a more beginner audience, and colder leads. The middle of the pyramid is your depth content. So this creates loyalty with your existing audience, allows you to go deeper with them and create long-term followers and subscribers and clients. And then the bottom of the pyramid is your evergreen content, which continues to work for you for the rest of time and really appeals to your most ideal clients and your hottest leads and is the most likely to convert, even though it's not going to bring in a big audience. And in order to create a profitable social media strategy, you gotta start with the end goal in mind, which is what you want to create in terms of profit and revenue on a monthly basis for your business. So I have mentioned this in past videos, but let's do a quick recap before we actually get into the math and the predictability of how you can do this in your own business in just a second. So the key metrics that matter when it comes to social media platforms are pretty simple and they kind of are the same across the board, but I'll use YouTube as an example. So CTR, which is your click-through rate, are people actually clicking on your content? Are they interested? Is your core audience interested? That's what matters most because you want to make relevant content for them. Retention, so are they paying attention? Are they stopping? Are they watching? Are they listening? Are they reading? From there, it's all about watch time. So whichever platform it is, you want people to not just find one piece of content and forget about you, but you want to make sure that they're sticking around and going to a bunch of your different pieces of content and making them all related and relevant to your ideal client will help you do that. From there, are you generating new subscribers, followers, etc., growing your audience with relevant, targeted, ideal viewers, followers, clients? From there, are you generating views, reach, whatever the metric may be on the specific platform? And then finally, what does the velocity look like? So with your piece of content, is it a surge of engagement, or is it sort of long-term, evergreen, consistent, stable engagement for years to come? Each of these metrics indicates a different factor, but these are the core key metrics to be paying attention to really understand how to grow. If you're not paying attention to your metrics on social media, you will never grow and you will always be frustrated. And just focusing on the views and subscribers is also gonna kill your soul, because that's not the key indicator of your success. Really, if you're growing a business, the key indicator of your success isn't just about engagement and vanity metrics. It's actually about taking action and converting your viewers, followers, etc., into paying clients. So let's get into that, because remember I mentioned the 3 factors to a profitable social media strategy, and what you're really aiming for is getting traffic that is relevant to your offer, and then making sure that that traffic is turning into paying clients. So let's dig into the math of how that's gonna work. So let's talk about your baseline, because your baseline is essentially the foundation of how you create consistency in your business in terms of your revenue, so that you can know what to predict on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And also, what's really fun about this is once you understand your baseline metrics in terms of your revenue and profit, you can start doing projections. So you can actually project your growth and know how to hit those new benchmarks and milestones in your projections. So let's talk about how we do this. The first thing, and we talked about this in last week's video, is you need to understand what your average conversion rate is. Whatever kind of vehicle or marketing that you're doing, or sales strategy that you have, or clients you're bringing in the door, how many people are you converting? And what is the percentage there? So industry standard, let's say, is 20%. So it's 20% if you're doing a phone call to get people in the door and you're doing an application process. So 20% is industry standard. It could be much higher than that. We have clients who are all the way up at like 90% conversion rates. And then we have people who are a little bit lower. But when you know this, it indicates everything else. So let's say you want to get 3 clients a month. That's the number of clients, okay? So you can do this for yourself, right? All these things down, do this for yourself. 3 clients. Your price point is $5K, so $5,000 for your program. So if we are bringing in 3 clients a month at $5,000, that means your consistent revenue should be $15K. Now, if you offer payment plans, people might be paying different amounts or doing it on a monthly payment plan for the next, let's say, 3 months. So you wouldn't be getting all of the cash up front. So how much cash are you actually collecting? So let's say you're collecting $10K in cash a month because one person or 2 people decided to do a payment plan. From there, you determine, okay, what are my expenses and what's my profit? This isn't a hard business to run by yourself. So in reality, your profit could be 10K. Give or take a few expenses. If you have like a VA or you have tools, softwares that you're paying for, of course, those things would be factored in, but your profit would be 10K. So when you do this math and when you look at it from a bird's eye view, you now know all of the numbers that you need to hit to achieve your goal in terms of revenue and profit on a monthly basis, which gives you security to know that you're gonna be able to do it for the rest of time. And if these are the baseline metrics, meaning this is like the foundation and the average, if you just start increasing your conversion rates, if you decide you want to get more clients in the door, you all of a sudden are growing your business and scaling your business like that. Exciting, right? Now let's talk about the structure of content on social media that actually makes money for your business. And it all has to start with that clear intent. So we have this checklist, and this is really the checklist that you can use when you're creating content to ensure that you are appealing to your ideal clients and your potential clients, so that when they see it, they go, oh my gosh, they're speaking to me. I need to enroll in their program. I need to buy whatever they're selling, whatever it may be. But they know this is directly for them. And remember, this is why it's so important that you're not just making random content on the internet, because when you make random content on the internet, random people are gonna start following you. And then ultimately that hurts your overall growth, because those random people are never really gonna invest into your business and do what you want them to do. So you don't need everyone. You need the right people. So first and foremost, is your content educating your ideal client? Is it giving them a light bulb? Is it helping them with something they have questions around? So how-to content, tutorials, quick tips and tricks, that's great. Outside of that, is it giving context to your authority? Is it sharing like why you're an authority on the topic? What have you done to build your credibility? You know, for me, it could be I've helped thousands of people launch and scale their online courses organically. That gives me some credibility. Tell a little story about that, of how I was able to do this for myself or how my clients were able to do it using my method. Problem solving. Is it solving a problem that your ideal client is dealing with? I talked about this in last week's video and I've talked about it here too. Because there are platforms that are search platforms and they continue to work for you when you're not working because people are discovering your content, doing content that's educational and problem solving positions you to be found and discovered by those people because they are searching for answers to their questions, solutions to their problems. So they're searching for education and problem solving content. Next checklist point is, does it share an execution plan? So if you're telling them, this is how you're going to lose that last 10 pounds, let's just say, as an example, here are 3 steps to do it. In your free content, you're really sharing the what. In your paid content, you're sharing the how. There's no way that just from free content, people are going to get the entire transformation and specific transformation that you provide in your paid offer. So your free content is really just warming people up and telling them, oh my gosh, if this person is sharing this much for free, imagine what the program is like. So execution plan, relevant to pain. So what is your ideal client's pain points? What do you know about them? What are they seeking? What do they need? Making sure that's included. And then finally, is there a call to action? It actually pains my soul. Pains my soul right here when I see a piece of really good content and nowhere to go. I want to give you my money, but you are not telling me where to go. You know, you have to tell people to click the link in the bio, go to the description below, book a call, attend your webinar, whatever it may be. Give people direction, because if you don't, they're gonna watch your content, go, that was super helpful, and then forget about you 2 seconds later. There's just too much coming at you. So make sure you have a clear call to action. Now that kind of covers the content itself, but what are the vehicles? So this is how I like to think about your options when it comes to sharing your content and your message online for free. You have your on-demand and you have your evergreen. So your on-demand are things like LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Why? Because on-demand has a short shelf life. I like to think about it as an actual car because you have to turn the ignition in order for it to run. Whereas evergreen content runs without you. You don't need to do anything. It just is self-driving, does the work without you doing anything. Now, the real sweet spot is having a combination of both of these in your strategy so that if you're having a bit of a lull and your evergreen content isn't really performing the way you want it to, you're not generating the right amount of leads, and this does take time to build momentum, then you at least have some on-demand activities that you can do as well on a weekly basis. So the cool thing about evergreen, and we call this the sunny system, it's a term we coined a long time ago, because it's kind of like the solar system. So your evergreen content could be on platforms like YouTube, it could be blogging, it could also be on a platform like Pinterest because they are search-based platforms. As I mentioned in last week's video, my pillar content platform is YouTube because it's magic. It works for me when I'm not working, it generates leads and traffic when I'm not working, and it allows me to create a sense of passive income in my business. So the sunny system from your evergreen traffic from a source like, let's say, YouTube, it allows you to grow your audience on other places. So this is building my email list in my sleep. And I talked about the importance of this because building your email list allows you to take control of your audience, because algorithms change. You are in control of any algorithm. You are not the boss of it, but you do control your email list. So this is your most valuable asset online. So your YouTube content is going to drive people to your email list. It's going to grow your audience on other social platforms. And the incredible thing about this is it's like a magnet for opportunities. So speaking engagements, book deals, publicity, all of these things come out of this because your presence and brand is being built when you're not working, which means that these are working for you out in the world and being found by all of these people. You never know who's watching. I've told this story before, but one of my very first speaking engagements, the head of social media for NATO reached out to me on LinkedIn because he saw a YouTube video and invited me to speak in Brussels. And I was speaking to NASA, the CIA, government officials from all over the world, little old me, because he saw a YouTube video. And this was at the very start of my channel. I was like 1 to 2 months in. I was shook. So, do people still say that? So, this is just an opportunity machine. That's why evergreen traffic is so important. And I can do without on demand, but I cannot do without Evergreen. Evergreen is the machine that runs everything in perpetuity. So at a certain point, implementing this is just gonna make your life a lot easier. So let's talk about the simplicity of my content calendar and why I'm at a place where I'm not trying to be everywhere, and I'm not really at a place, and I haven't been for a while, where I'm like trying to grow a ton. I'm really all about depth and reaching the right people who truly care about the content, which is why you're here. Wink. So my simple content calendar and strategy on a weekly basis and very profitable content calendar looks like this. Email to the list that we built through YouTube. Tuesday is YouTube, and we usually send an email with that, plus email. And then Wednesday or Friday, we'll send another email to my list with either a testimonial from our program or a tactic-driven tutorial, or just a direct call to action to see if people are interested in the program and speaking to someone from my team. I'll put E, and I'll just put question marks. We don't define which days we're gonna do it on, but we know it's one or the other. And if necessary, if we need more leads, going back to the predictable numbers that we talked about in the baseline, then I can send 2. But realistically, we only need 1 to 2 emails a week. So email, YouTube, and email video, they're associated, so providing value to my list. Email, and then if I feel like it, I will turn these emails into IG story or reel. I'll share testimonials on reel or LinkedIn or Facebook and just repeat the content across the platforms. And this is only really if it's necessary and if we feel like we need to pull those on-demand levers or vehicles to drive more leads and more awareness. But generally that's not the case, because you don't need a ton of people to get your program to a place where it's very profitable and sustainable. So you have to think about it in terms of numbers. Remember we talked about it earlier. Let's say you need 3 clients a month. That immediately alleviates the pressure from trying to grow your audience, because growing an audience is not the secret sauce to creating a profitable business or a profitable content strategy. Intention is the key. So remember, the formula for success on social media is intention plus relevancy plus you. So I have a clear intention. I know that with every piece of content I send, I want to position myself as the authority, and I want to drive people to our one program, the Authority Accelerator. And then relevancy is it relevant to my ideal client? And then is it me? Is it based on my experience, my expertise, my story? Those are really the 3 key factors. So that's it. YouTube, email, and then other things if I feel like it. And once a month, we usually do a case study on Facebook Live on my Facebook page with one of my clients' success stories. And that's super fun for me to do. But again, it's not necessary, but I have the time and it's fun for me to do. And that would be an on-demand activity. The thing that I think is really important to understand here is I know my levers. So I've talked about vehicles. I use a lot of terminology. Stay with me. You have your vehicles, your on-demand traffic, your evergreen traffic. Bringing the traffic in, bring the leads in, bring the clients in. But then you also need to know your levers. So your levers would be the individual platforms and activities you're doing. So knowing my levers, knowing that my key levers are a YouTube video and an email to my list to grow my business and generate leads, allows me to just focus on those things and frees up space from trying to do too many things. Getting super clear on the messaging based on intention, relevancy to my ideal client, and me, my story, my experience, it allows me to not have to reinvent the wheel and do extra unnecessary work in creating content. Because I'm not just a content creator. I actually weirdly don't really consider myself a content creator. I really consider myself an entrepreneur who uses online marketing as a vehicle to grow my business and grow my impact. Because I know what my pillar piece is, I then go, okay, cool. How can I take the message and the intention of that YouTube video and turn it into an Instagram reel? Because I know reels tend to get more reach. So what could I do as like a quick, fun way to do that? And then I can just take the email that I sent out with the YouTube video and repurpose it as the caption for the Instagram reel. So again, it's juicing the lemon of every piece of content you create and leveraging that one piece of content to go multiple places. So you're not having to do more work and you can focus on the things that really matter, which is your clients and client results. So how much does my social media content strategy generate every week? Looking at my numbers this morning, I identified, okay, minus expenses and looking at all the metrics across the board, This was our profit from the last week. Again, this is not from a launch. This is not from doing anything special. This is just sticking to a very simple content strategy and nurturing the audience we have built and focusing on our key metrics from our baseline. And so this is rinse and repeat every single week. And of course there's discrepancies, and sometimes it'll go up, sometimes it'll go a little down. But for the most part, it's wildly predictable. If I just focus on those baseline metrics and know exactly what numbers I need to be hitting to create this amount of profit. And yes, I know you're sitting there thinking, but don't you spend money on paid ads? So yes, we do have a paid ad strategy at this point, but I would never recommend spending money on paid ads until you have a proven offer and credibility. And I really always harp on growing your program, your product, and your business organically first to prove it and validate it. And we have clients who are scaling to multiple 7 figures without spending a dime on advertising, and they don't have huge audiences, but they're super intentional with their content strategy and they're super intentional with their sales and marketing strategy. Last week, we spent about $4,400 on ads. So we've dramatically reduced our ad spend and our focus is really organic. So from our content strategy last week, we generated just over $100,000 in profit alone. And like I said, when you know your numbers, this can be repeatable. And keep in mind, I started from zero, like this has taken years to build up. I'm still amazed that this happens, and I'm amazed at the simplicity of how this happens, because I think being a more immature entrepreneur, I felt like I had to do everything to achieve results like this. Now I'm very clear that no, it's being intentional and it's knowing the right levers, YouTube, email, in order to achieve the results that you're looking for. Finally, the number one key to your long-term success on social media with your content and also with your business, you're not gonna be super surprised by this, but it's results and social proof. And so I wanted to show you a really quick example of what I mean by this and one of the on-demand activities that I do on a weekly basis to share the results, share the proof of how our program works. So you take a look at this Instagram story. Wanted to share some wins from our Authority Accelerator community. I just really am so proud of the humans that we bring into this program and the work that they're doing and the results that they're getting. So I figured I'd share so you can take a look, get a little inspo.
Within 3 days, I was totally sold out and I made $32,000 Canadian from that initial post and from this initial pop course. So I know this course is going to change my life and give me more time to focus on the things that I really love to do and spend time with my family. So just a big thank you to Sunny and her team for this amazing course and this amazing opportunity.
So the beauty of that story is we've created templates in my business to make it super easy to add in the new testimonials we get on a daily basis and the new wins that we see from our clients inside of our program. And that makes it very easy for me to then just share them and not have to, again, reinvent the wheel every single time. And it reduces the amount of work on my end. And it makes it very easy in sharing those wins, sharing those testimonials, and adding more authority and credibility to what we do with our program. Plus, it's really cool because we get to give our clients an even bigger platform by sharing their stories and sharing them out on my platforms as well. Unfortunately, in the world of social media, a lot is focused on the vanity metrics, a lot is focused on your brand and how cool you look or whatever, professional you look. I can tell you that the only thing that matters to your long-term success is your results and that your clients are actually achieving the transformation you set out to give them. And if you're not doing that, you can absolutely have short-term success. You can absolutely grow a massive audience. And it really depends on your definition of success. And for me, I'm so clear that my definition of success is not having all of the followers and subscribers in the world. It's about having a really deep impact on the people that I do work with and knowing my numbers to take the pressure off of feeling the need to be seen by everyone every day. So what's your definition of success? You kind of need to start there and then work backwards in terms of how you want to tackle it. Hopefully this was helpful for you and helps to clarify that you don't have to work hard, you just need to work smart in terms of your content strategy and social media strategy online. And again, you have to define your success on your own terms and really determine what is your North Star and work backwards from there. What is your ultimate vision of what you want to create? And then every activity you take is going to lead you there. So I would love to know your takeaways in the comments below. And if you want to take this a step further and you're interested in creating a highly scalable online course business, that's what I do. I help people take their story and their skill set and expertise and turn it into a highly profitable and scalable online course business completely organically. And you can check out my free masterclass below on exactly how we do it and the 4 steps to get you there. Give this video a like so we can reach more people in the algorithm. The whole mission of this channel is to make entrepreneurship available to everyone so that you can make the unique impact that you are here to make, and giving this a like and subscribing will help us do that. I appreciate you for it. Make sure you check out this video next, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.